Hi, we're Diamond and Silk, and we love the Naked Truth Report.
Warning, the following program has been rated T for truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Oh, we think you can. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report with your host, truth warrior and mythbuster Kathleen Wells. The place where we distinguish fact from fiction, where data is used to drive points home, and where Kathleen takes the position that Democrats and black politicians have destroyed black America. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report. Now, your host, Kathleen Wells.
Welcome to the Naked Truth Report. I'm excited to be here. I'm glad to have you. This morning, naturally, I was watching Washington Journal, and the guest was David. Is his name David? Let's see, Wasserman. David Wasserman he's the editor with the Cook Political Report, and he was discussing the Senate and House races and his position, given him studying the data. He says it's scientific, and it's both social science and scientific. I think that's what he said. Studying the data, it is his position that Trump is bringing down House and Senate races. Yes. In Michigan and Arizona and Nevada. In other words, Biden is winning. Yes, by 7, 8, 10 points in the battleground states. Also in Arizona, I think he said Colorado, and that the Democrats will probably take. This is David Wasserman with the Cook Political Report. They're famous. I mean, they have a reputation for integrity. That Biden's going to win the House, and Democrats will take back the House and Senate. Yes. That's what he said this morning on Washington Journal. And that was like sort of a bummer. That's depressing, right? And then later in the day, I listened to the Bill Still report and also Dick Morris. Now, Bill Still follows Business Investors Daily poll and Trivago poll. Also, Dick Morris follows Trivago poll and some other polls, I think. And they both say that Trump is, if not winning, he is tightening the race in the battleground states, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Ohio specifically. He's winning, I think, in Michigan. So is John James. John James, who is running for the Senate Republican seat in Michigan. Who is he running again? Senate, yeah. He is like 2 or 3 points ahead of the Democrat. Yeah, that's what those polls say. So Bill Still says it's deja vu. Deja vu meaning that we're repeating 2016. This is all very interesting. Another article I read out of the Daily Mail is that Trump, if he's reelected, he intends to fire the FBI director, Wray, and the CIA officer, Haspel, if he's reelected. We understand why, right? Because the FBI has had the laptop of Hunter Biden since December of 2019, before the impeachment proceedings. So what's that about? What's going on? Anyway, I'm excited. We have a guest this evening. My guest is Joe Collins. I've met him several times, and I'm glad I finally have him on the program. He is going to be opposing Maxine Waters' district, the 43rd district. This is a wonderful thing. I hope he wins. We all want him to win. We all want Maxine Waters out of that seat, right? Anyway, Joe, welcome to the Naked Truth Report.
Hey, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
I really appreciate it. Do you remember we met a few times? We met at the Beverly Hills rally, the walkaway, right? And then I met you at a breakfast that they had here at AM 870. Yeah.
Yeah. Good times. That was somebody who told me that these were the good times. I would have lived them differently.
Well, why don't you give us a little bit of your background?
Well, I'm from South Central Los Angeles. After our house was set up in a drive-by in 2000, we moved to Texas. I finished high school in 2003, joined the Navy in 2004, sailed across the world, the seven seas, visit almost every country in the world, and Now I'm back in the running for Congress and against Maxine Waters in a hometown that I was brought up in South LA.
Right. Now, the 43rd District, what area does that encompass exactly?
So we have half of Inglewood, the Westmont, West Hamptons. We have half of Watts, the Westchester Airport area, Hawthorne, Gardena. We have half of Torrance, West Carson, Lomita, and the um, Del Mar area.
Didn't they redraw that district because she didn't initially have Westchester? I mean, did you say Marina Del Rey?
We have some parts over there. We have the airport area, the
Okay.
Westchester Airport area. So we have a little parts of little cities.
Yeah, but she didn't always have that area, did she?
No, they were actually trying to redistrict so they can get her out of office, but unfortunately, we haven't had a person challenge her in a manner that I have in a very long time. So,
Now, I know you have a 5-point plan uh, as to why you should win that district. Talk about that 5-point plan.
so for me, we developed a 5-point plan. So we can get back to the basics of what it takes to run a productive and positive society. So our 5-point plan consists of rebuilding the infrastructure so we can support our small businesses, overhauling our education and rebuilding our high schools. We have to bring more quality jobs back into our community, get financial literacy back into our community, and improve the relationship between law enforcement and the community.
And now, why did you decide to oppose Maxine Waters? First, let me say, why did you decide to get into politics and run for a House seat as a Republican?
So I became a Republican in 2004 after I joined the military. The first black men who were to ever get in politics were Republican, and that's majority of where the Republican Party came from. And my running as a Republican in the 43rd district is because I have to be real with who I am. I'm a black man from the inner city. I became a Republican after I joined the military, and my mentors used to tell me, you choose your political party based on the values that that party aligns with, and you also vote for people based on if their values align with yours. And so it's always been a Republican Party. The reason why I got into politics is because I used to hate how people would say that millennials, young people, are lazy. We don't want to do anything. And I was in the U.S. military, and every single morning, 4 million people, millennials, they would wake up and they would do more between 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. than most people do all day. And so, just to be the voice of the younger generation, the voice that says it's okay to step up and take leadership roles, that's who I wanted to be.
Now, when you say the values of the Republican Party, what are those values?
So it would be live your life without the interference of the government, pro-2A, pro-life, pro-freedom, just the whole entire aspect of freedom. I know for me, I don't want the government to be heavily involved in my life. Only thing I want is to wake up every single morning with the opportunity to do whatever it is that I need to do. If I want to build wealth, I want an opportunity to do that. If I want to work a great job, I need the opportunity to do that. I don't want the government to interfere in my life.
Mm-hmm. Now, you have a viral video going. Talk to me about that. What motivated?
So we want,
Go ahead.
we want to show how Maxine Waters, who has been in office for 44 years total, lives in conjunction with how we in the 43rd district live. And, Maxine Waters, she served for a very long time, but she has failed to improve the quality of life for people who live in our district. Therefore, a lot of people who live in our district live below the poverty line. I think it's 43% of the people who live in our district live below the poverty line. And Maxine lives well above the poverty line. And my thing is, how can you be this rich, but you allow our communities to be this poor? The same communities that you swear up and that you're fighting for. I haven't seen it. A lot of people haven't seen it, and so I wanted to show that contrast.
It's hard to believe she's been in politics or has had that seat for 47 years. That's hard to believe. That's a long. Is it 47 years?
Damn near, yeah. Yeah, I think Joe Biden is 47,
Yeah.
Maxine is 44.
Oh, okay. Because I know that sounded familiar. I know Biden is 47. So it's hard to believe she's
Yeah.
been in office 44 years. Well, she hasn't had that seat for 44 years, has she? I'm not sure.
No, she was 17 years as a state assemblywoman, and then she got into Congress in '91, and she's been in there 29 years, and she is yet to make any type of significant improvements in our communities.
Right, right, right. And she's also pro illegal aliens.
Yeah, she votes along the lines of what the majority of her party votes because she, dare to be an outcast, dare to actually stand up for what's right. She doesn't do it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So tell me, what kind of reception have you received? Uh, how do you feel about the outcome?
Well, I think that we're going to win. We're winning right now. As far as the
You're
reception
winning
from the
right now. What do the
community,
polls say exactly?
so our internal surveys has us up by a large margin, and Maxine Waters' poll has us up by 3 points.
Really?
Yeah,
Amazing.
so her only defense right now is lying, but we've already filed lawsuits against her for defamation for intentionally lying, knowing that you're lying but still lying because you want to sway an election. So we filed a lawsuit against her for that, and just
What?
being
Wait,
visible in the
wait, wait, wait.
community
You
helps
filed a
us out a lot.
lawsuit against her for defamation?
Yeah, she ran $1 million worth of advertising telling everybody that I was dishonorably discharged, which
That
she,
she was
as a
telling
person who has
everybody that
been in
you were
Congress,
what? Telling everybody that you were what?
dishonorably discharged.
Oh, oh, oh. And that's
Yeah,
not.
that's disrespectful to anybody who's been in the military.
And that's.
And I'm going to combat that. And so the last thing I want anybody doing is trying to smear my record saying I was dishonorably discharged. I'm not going to have it. So, yeah, we filed a lawsuit against her.
Oh, so that was a lie.
That was definitely a lie, yes. It's one of the biggest lies. And she should be ashamed of herself. She's in Congress. Her first obligation is to the military. So, one, she should have helped me get my VA benefits. And two, she should have never put it out there that I was dishonorably discharged, knowing that she has access to our military records.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So what the standard for defamation, given that she's a public official, she has to have intentionally disregarded with malice aforethought, I think. She has to have,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So maybe
Yeah, and
go ahead.
go ahead.
I'm just
No,
saying
I was
she's
going
going
to
to say
say
maybe
that
she made a
someone,
mistake or something, She didn't
no,
intend.
when you're in Congress, you can't make that type of mistake. It's not like you're dealing with a piece of legislation that has to do with taxes. This is a military record. This is open information to people who sit in Congress. You should never mistake anybody for being dishonorably discharged.
Mm-hmm.
So she should have done her due diligence. She should have looked at the research. I already put my DD-214s out. As a person in Congress, she should have 100% done better because it's not disrespectful to me, but it's also disrespectful to every single veteran that we have in the 43rd district, the majority of them being homeless.
Mm-hmm. Now, it's just a very high standard to prove defamation for a public figure. And in fact, that's something that Trump talked about. He wants the Supreme Court to look at the defamation, libel, slander laws, and sort of had, the U.S. Supreme Court has established, I think it was New York Times versus Sullivan, has established a very high standard to prove defamation, libel / slander. So did you get involved in a debate with her?
No, she doesn't want a debate. We've already sent out the request to get a debate back in September, the 4th. She's ignored it. She doesn't want a debate. It's obvious when she sees me, she beelines straight for the exit of whatever facility that we in. But I doubt we're going to have a debate with Maxine Waters. I don't even think she knows how to read. I was listening to her. I was listening to her commercials that she has, and she's reading from a script, obviously, because she doesn't know the information that she's talking about. But even when she's reading from a script, it proves that she cannot read. So when we sent our debate request off, either she couldn't read it or she's definitely ignoring it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure she can read, Come on, that's a stretch. You can't be in Congress and not read. However, I saw on social media that a state representative from Georgia, I think her name is Darshun, or Darshun, when President Trump said in the final debate that the 534 children who have not been reunited with their parents, he explained that possibly, it's because they were brought to the U.S. by coyotes. Well, this state representative, who is also a corporate lawyer, said that she could not imagine a coyote carrying a child across the border.
Oh Lord. And this is this is the reason why we need to improve our education system. See, a lot of people don't understand. The coyote is also known as a bandito or a smuggler. That's what the coyote is. So, when you talk about coyotes or banditos or smugglers, they can smuggle anything from people to drugs across our borders, and that's what a coyote is. But leave it to somebody who is not really in tune with what's going on in their communities, and that's what you get.
Right. She's an actual, and in fact, all of social media, Twitter, Facebook, was up in arms, bashing her for making that kind of comment, because it's absurd that you would be a lawyer and
Absolutely.
representative in politics and not know that a coyote has to do with a smuggler, as opposed to the literal. You saw pictures of coyotes carrying babies across. It was
exactly.
it was quite funny. So the other thing I want to ask you is, let's see, tell me, how did you feel about Trump's debate performance last week, and also when you talk to people in the district, do you tell them that you align yourself with Trump's position?
Yeah, you know what? I think his rallies are great. We were actually privy to go to one in Sanford, near Orlando, Florida. It was really great. Got to hear him speak. I was like awestruck because a couple of hours before he spoke there, he actually endorsed me and the campaign and everything. In the district, I get people who are mixed about the issues that are going on, because we live in such a poor community. I have a lot of people saying that I don't like Trump, but I trust you to work with the president to bring opportunities back to us. We have people in our district who absolutely love Trump. We have people who, it really doesn't matter. All they want to do is continue to have opportunities to make their lives better. But for the most part, we get a lot of positive feedback with our campaign. A lot of people love us. We're in the streets 24/7, backpack drives, food drives, our community cleanups, things of that nature. And they appreciate it. So it's something I do look forward to bringing as I serve in Congress in the 43rd District.
Well, that seat will, if you win, that seat will be Republican for the first time in decades, right?
Oh yeah. I think since like 1963.
Can you imagine? And look at the district.
Mm-hmm.
I want to encourage.
Yeah, it's in bad shape.
It's in bad shape. It's been in bad shape. Particularly Watts. She puts illegal aliens over and above American citizens. So does Karen Bass, who represents my district. Let's see, Diane Watson had Karen Bass's seat before she had Karen Bass's seat before Karen Bass. Did that make sense? But anyway, the district, the Democratic Party puts illegal aliens before American citizens, and that's a problem, folks,
true.
Right?
It's true. It's absolutely true, especially when we're talking about housing, Medicare insurance, and also stimulus. Yeah, they put illegal aliens before Americans. Yeah, it's terrible.
Well, I bet you there are a lot of illegal aliens in the Watts and in Inglewood area.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't know, you can't know if someone's an illegal alien. But I bet you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I hate to prejudge,
right?
But I can assume that there's a lot.
Yeah, and in fact, Xavier Becerra, who is the Attorney General for California, said that California has something like 25 million, I think that's the number, some astronomical number, more than 11 million. He said there were like 20 million something illegal aliens in California alone.
Mm-hmm.
Can you?
Yeah, that's true.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
That's amazing. So if that's true, why do they keep saying that there are 11 million illegal aliens in United States? Why do they keep saying that? That's bizarre.
Because they want to look bad, but they don't want to look too bad. You know what I'm saying? If you told the real numbers, every single state in the United States will be looking bad.
Now,
Yeah, because they would actually have to come up with solutions to the issues that they have.
and this has been going on for decades. Do you talk about the issue of immigration when you go out talking to folks? Do you talk about immigration at all?
Yeah, we talk about immigration. I've had plenty of conversations with DACA recipients, and I think one of the biggest things is that the DACA recipients kind of got, left off when it came to the plans of the United States moving forward, but it was something that they were promised. And also with the illegal immigration, they really don't like the fact that Gavin Newsom gave $175 million worth of medical insurance to illegal immigrants and also, free health care insurance. And a lot of people feel like, including myself, that money should have absolutely went to citizens of California. I think would have made more sense.
Mm-hmm. But I'm sure there are a lot of DACA and Dreamers in that area, in that district. I'm sure they want you to be pro-DACA and pro-Dreamers and let them...
You know what? I think one of the biggest issues is it's not being pro-DACA, it's fixing the fact that DACA never created a legitimate pathway to citizenship. And that was what the DACA recipients were expecting, And so now you have a whole group of people who have lived in America since they were children, and they were promised that, if you work hard and do what you got to do, that you're going to be taken care of, and now they're not being taken care of. And so it's not that I'm pro-DACA. I'm pro giving people what the government promised you. And if Barack Obama, who was the president of the United States at the time, promised these people that they were going to get their citizenship, then by all means they should be allowed to get their citizenship and not sent back to a country that they know absolutely nothing about.
That's like a quiver. How do I want to put it? That's a sticking point for Republicans, because I think most Republicans do not want DACA folks and Dreamer folks to get citizenship. No.
Yeah, but, I'm from the inner city, so if the government promised you something, and being in the military, if the government promised you something, then you absolutely are privy to what the government promised you. It doesn't matter if Republicans like it or if Democrats like it. The fact of the matter is the government promised it to you, so you should get what was promised to you. I believe in that 100% wholeheartedly.
Okay, there's my music. We have a break. How do you feel about taking calls when we come back from the break, Joe?
Let's do it.
Okay, and let's touch on this DACA stuff. Oh, my God. Okay. Karma, that's a good thing. If someone promises you something and doesn't give it back to you, should they promise you something and they don't give it to you, is that a bad thing? Yeah, you should keep your promises because your karma could be bad. We're talking with Joe Collins, who is running for the 43rd District in California against who? Maxine Waters. We'll take phone calls on the way on the other side of the break. This is the Naked Truth Report. I'm your host, Kathleen Wells. We'll be right back. I love that. That reminds me of my days at Berkeley. Anyway, we've got calls for you, Joe. Can you believe it? Why don't we go to calls? So, Antoinette in Redondo Beach, welcome to the Naked Truth Report. Oh, Sunset Beach.
Hi. Good evening, you guys. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Not bad for the most part. Concerning the DACA situation, and I just will say my prayers and that you win that race. There in Los Angeles. I'm torn. I was born in East LA. I'm an American citizen first, but I am Latina descent. I am Hispanic, Latina, whatever.
Oh, is this Antoinette? Do I know you, Antoinette? Yes.
Yes, you do, Kathleen. Hi, how are you?
Yes, I didn't recognize your voice. I was sort of in another world, but yes, Antoinette, I know you. Hi.
Hi. So what I want to just voice my opinion on this because I'm torn. I live in Orange County now, and I've dealt with voting and a number of issues here to the Hispanic community. And you know what? At first, I was very much against the DACA situation and making them automatic citizens, and I know they were promised certain things. But bottom line, they need to also be made accountable in a way that don't just give it to them, make them pay something over a couple of years. Yeah, it's their parents for bringing them here illegally. It's not granted their fault to a certain extent. At the same time, this is America. We've given away too much over the years, and they need to pay some kind of something, some type of penalty, not gigantic, but to deter any more people that keep trying to come over here. You know, Bush promised certain things and going to get certain things straightened up. He didn't do a damn thing. I love Trump. There's a lot of us that are Latinos that were voting for Trump here in Orange County and in some of my friends up in LA County. But definitely they need to be made accountable. There needs to be some compensation back to our country. We should not just give them carte blanche. That's my feeling and a number of other of our friends.
Yeah, I think more Latinos are voting for Trump than Black Americans. So your response to that, Joe?
I absolutely understand how you feel, but on the same token, you can't make people who are here when they're children responsible for something that their parents did. I've served in the military with a lot of people who have came here on a DACA program. They've got their green card, and the only thing they want to do is be productive part of the society they know. You know what I'm saying? Now, unfortunately, their parents did bring them here, but holding them accountable for something that the parents did is not fair, and then it's unconstitutional. That's like saying, you know, every single black person hold white people responsible for slavery, knowing that the white people that are here now were not responsible for slavery because of something that, you know, someone ancestor has done. So we have to take those things into consideration. Now,
I don't know if it's unconstitutional.
But I understand that, and I hear where you're coming from. That at the same token, maybe if their parents are still alive and they're still here, the parents have to pay some penalty. I'm sorry, there's got to be some type of penalty, and I know what you're saying, but you know what? This is different than the slavery situation. It truly is. It is not the same. I beg to differ with you.
The concept is the same. Making someone pay for something that someone else did. You know what I'm saying? That's the concept that we're talking about right now.
But we all...
If someone in your family committed the crime, then you will be held accountable for the crime that the family committed.
Okay, we both can't talk. Antoinette, thank you for calling in. Thank you, Antoinette. Okay, let's take another call from Ray. Ray in Inglewood. Hi, Ray. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. Grab a pencil and paper. I'm here to help you, Mr. Collins. Congratulations on having the courage to run. We'll start with Ms. Waters. We'll start way back in the beginning when she came to fame. Remember the Donovan Jackson incident, the kid who got slammed on the truck?
Oh, wait, you have to put your mouth to the phone. We can't.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Donovan Jackson, the kid who got slammed on the trunk. That's when she showed up yelling, "No justice, no peace," with Jackson and trunk. The backstory is the kid did exactly what the cop claimed he did. I saw pictures of the aftermath. The city got sued for $5 million.
What kid is that? What kid are you talking about?
Donovan Jackson.
Oh,
remember? It was the first time something went viral.
What year was that?
He was slammed on. This was back in '90.
Okay.
Right after she got elected for the first time, if I'm not mistaken, '90 something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's talking about
when she first hit the big town. Yeah, this all you got to do is Google Donovan Jackson.
Well, no, go ahead with the story.
Jackson.
Go ahead.
Okay, and she got, by coming in, demanding that they be fired, et cetera, due process be down. We got sued, City of Inglewood, which I've been a continuous member of since 1988. And that was the beginning of this long story to tell. The next great claim to fame was running Walmart out of town. They did a documentary to celebrate it. What's the aftermath of that? And it's a wonderful thing. Mr. Kroenke is married to one of the Walton daughters. You know, the guy who owns the Rams? So, yeah, the Waltons are back. Okay.
Yeah, we can't. You know, you need your mouth.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay, can you hear me now? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and can you make it a little short? Because, you know, we got.
Okay, here's what I'm going to tell you, Mr. Collins, and this is everybody that's listening. Only about 12% of the registered voters in her district bothered to vote. So when you hear these broad, I won with 85% of the vote, yeah, one person was voting for every 10 people. You just got to make sure, Joe, that you hit the new voters, people your age, within 10 years older than you. I'm 61. I found religion 40 years ago. So it's too late for us old people that drank the Kool-Aid. I never drank it. But that's what you have to get at.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Ray. So he says, you know, get the young folks.
I agree.
Okay, let's try, let's see, Raul in Highland Park. Welcome to the Naked Truth Report.
Hi, Kathleen. Thanks. Thanks for taking my call.
Okay.
You know, I vote for Mr. Collins if I lived in this district. I mean, this man has got what it takes. You know, I just gotta say that I'm personally. I mean, I've witnessed some disgusting things going on down in Figueroa Street in Mrs. Waters' district. You have prostitution out there at daytime. In the daytime, you have black girls out there prostituting themselves, and I've called her office about it, and they said, well, she's got a lot on her plate and all this BS, and I think that is the number one thing she should be dealing with is getting those girls off the street. And Mr. Collins had mentioned about housing. You know, I rarely ever never actually hear the president mention that. Conservative talk radio, I bring up the fact about illegal migrants taking our housing, our apartments, duplexes, bachelor units. You know, they rent houses, they buy houses, and now our young people cannot rent apartments like they used to in our day, Kathleen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have to resort to renting a room in a house with a bunch of strangers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that's the result of the supply. You know, the law of supply and demand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have the less of something, the rent's going to go up, and so these kids, they cannot afford an apartment anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and then they also qualify for Section 8 housing. I understand, and all sorts of different social benefits. And if I can just chime in real quick regarding my city councilman, Gilbert Cedillo, is going to dip into, he's entered a motion to dip into that $2.2 trillion Federal CARES Act for $6 million to hand over to those vendors on the street to purchase their sellers permits and also their grills. Can you believe this? Out of our federal tax dollars, these people, a lot of them are illegal migrants. This is the kind of representation or lack thereof in the city council, board of supervisors, all the way up to the governorship. You know, they're just working for these illegal migrants.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they care about.
California is a mess. You know,
it
and
sure is. I mean,
it's a mess. You know, you see, I remember I grew up in L.A. and you see homeless folks everywhere, tents, and you know, like I spoke about last week or the week before, Garcetti was caught on a hot mic saying this homeless problem can't be solved, and no one is to blame for it. California is a mess, and it's too many people. We're too crowded, and we hope Joe wins, right, Joe? Oh, hello.
Hello, Joe. Hello. Are you talking to me, Kathleen?
No, I said Joe. Joe, are you there, Joe?
Is Joe there? Oh, I think we lost Joe.
Joe, are you on the line? Oh.
Kathleen, can I say one last thing?
Yeah, you can say one last thing. I think my call screener blocked off Joe, and she can't see me. Anyway, keep talking.
Yeah, you know, I've noticed there's an air of malevolence in the air, man. It's pretty scary. You know, when you go out, you know, you take a bus, subway, there's an air of danger. I mean, it's scary because it seems that there's a lot of disorder right now because of this lockdown. And you don't see the regular hustle and bustle out in the streets. You know, there's empty streets. There's people just sleeping at bus stops and sleeping in front of businesses.
Oh, are you on the line?
Yeah. Did I lose you?
No, you didn't lose me. My call screener, she's not looking at me. She just hung up she's got my calls all screwed up. We're having, he says, technical difficulties. She's not paying attention. She doesn't see me. Anyway, Raul, I appreciate it. I appreciate what you're saying. California is a mess. We got a lot of calls. Why don't I go to the next call now from, who is that? Missy and Reseda. Hi, Missy.
Yes, hi, Kathleen. Thank you so much. I had just two quick things. One, I wanted to know what pollsters you were talking about that were saying that Trump was pulling down the congressional and Senate seats. That was one question. And the other thing is I'm out here in the Valley. I worked for a while in South LA for animal rescue, and I will tell you it was a very scary place to be. I'm in my 60s, but I'm advising everybody to give money to Joe Collins. I've sent money in, and I'm not a rich person. I'm giving to certain seats that I think are important, but you just look at what Maxine said. If you see anybody from that cabinet in the restaurant, in the department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd and you push back on them and you tell them they're not welcome anymore anywhere, she said. I think she was she preceded what's been going on with BLM, Antifa.
Yeah.
I think she knew well in advance what she was doing. And I saw Joe the other day on one of the things where a gentleman came in who had been a former gang member coming in and saying, I'm out there talking to the young guys, and I'm telling them, look at the advantages you have under Trump. But, no matter what, Joe, Kim Klacik, all these others that are going out there as young people,
yes,
trying to show up, you have to fight people like what Maxine Waters is doing.
Right.
I'm out here in the Valley fighting my own fights, but South LA is a hub. Pretty soon, developers are going to come in and just wipe the place out.
Right.
All those people are going to be pushed out and have nowhere to go.
Right.
And you talk about homelessness, and you talk about people's mom and pop businesses and everything, but you talk about opportunities are there. And I used to sit in on some of these things where I forgot who handles the ninth city council district. He was already selling out a lot of South LA to a lot of developers, saying for, quote, low-cost housing. But
Right.
I think they're looking at it because they want to redevelop everything near downtown, and they want to sell it out. So that's a big job Joe has, but everybody should be giving money to him, should go out and make phone calls for him, because who knows, maybe he can win, and I hope so. So that's what and who was the pollster you said was saying that Trump was bringing down those two?
Yeah, he was on Washington Journal this morning. His name is David Wasserman, and he's the editor with the Cook Report. He was on Washington Journal, which is C-SPAN. And he says Trump is bringing down all these House and Senate races because he's losing, and Biden is going to win. Now, I listen to Bill Still Report, Dick Morris. I listen to Lionel Nation. I listen to everyone I can listen to. Lionel Nation believes that they're going to steal the election, the Democrats, and this is why you have pollsters saying, well, then they can say, well, that Biden was ahead in the polls.
But you know what? They're pushing everybody out, the thousands of people that are in Beverly Hills, the thousands of people that are in Ventura Boulevard, San Diego. I'm telling you, every city in town. I've never seen anything like when I was in the Walkaway campaign, rally and walk. 1,500 people in West Hollywood and Beverly Hills. Every third car was screaming and yelling, pro-Trump. And I'm telling you, it's even bigger on the weekends. There is that hidden majority. People are just terrified. Like myself, I lost a job 4 years ago because of it. So, you can't say anything. And I stay silent because I have to.
Right.
So, I love your show. I love listening to this perspective. I really hope Joe wins. I hope everybody keeps funneling money out there. And I do think he's raised a lot of money over what Maxine did, but she's also got dirty pockets in religious organizations and other things.
Okay, so, Missy, thank you
so much.
Thank you. Okay, Brent from L.A. She's right, Joe? Send money to Joe Collins. I see your posters on La Brea going towards 62nd in Inglewood, going towards Slauson. I see your posters. And you also have an ad on one of the Black American radio stations, right? KJLH?
Listen, let me tell you. So whenever we first got into this race, everything that they said that Republicans couldn't get, we bought it. And we worked really hard to raise the amount of money that we raised. We bought all the TV advertisement, all the radio advertisement, all the huge billboards, very active in the community. So, it's something that we can't take no for an answer, and I'm not going to let Maxine intimidate anybody from winning this race.
Right, right, right. Get the young folks, like our previous caller said, who's 61 from Inglewood. I can't remember his name. I think Ray. He said, get the young folks. Okay, let's take a call from Brent now in L.A. Hi, Brent. Welcome to the Neck of Truth Report.
Hello, courageous Kathleen and Congressman Collins.
Hey.
It's an honor speaking with you, sir, and I pray for your victory in November. And I love your Baltimore Kim Klacik style campaign video. It's brilliant, but I think it needs a little more exposure. And I wanted to ask you a couple quick questions. It was, when you're elected, will you use your congressman's salary to buy a $5 million mansion in Hancock Park and then move out of the disaster area that malevolent Maxine has left for you to resurrect? And will you put the ideas of Karl Marx and Mao Zedong before America's founding fathers?
I'm gonna have to give you a double negative on that one. My whole entire goal is I'm not a Marxist fan, but my entire goal is to rebuild the community that I was born and raised in. I'm from South Central Los Angeles. I'm retired military. I don't need anybody's money. I don't need to be in Congress to improve my life. So, one thing I want to do is I want to be one. The person to rebuild the community that I was born in, and two, the person to encourage and inspire young people to get involved in politics. Those are my two goals. I mean, we can no longer allow aged politicians to continue to run our lives, continue to run our Americas, because the time that we're moving in is way past the time that they came into politics in. And so the only thing that they're doing is putting us in this hamster wheel to where we are spinning around in a circle. This person want to be right, but this person want to be right because they did this in the 40s and they did that in the 50s. That no longer applies here in 2020. So, yeah, I give you a double negative. I want to improve the community. I don't care for Marxism. I don't care for communism. I don't care for socialism. I care for capitalism, and I care for the right for people to live their lives without the influence of the government.
Americanism. And, the Democratic Party has sold out America to China.
They sold America out to a lot of people. They tried to sell it out to China, tried to sell us out to Russia, tried to sell us out to Africa, a lot of countries. But it's not working, and I am so excited that President Trump and his administration is exposing the truth, because I'm going to tell you, when SEAL Team 6 went down, everybody in the U.S. Navy knew that it was something behind that. And now the truth is coming out that Joe Biden has something to do with it, and the Obama administration, a lot of people in the military can sleep well at night.
When what went down?
The SEAL Team 6.
The what? I'm sorry.
So the whole issue behind SEAL Team 6 and the capture of bin Laden.
Oh.
Joe Biden exposed the identity and the location of SEAL Team 6, who allegedly took out
SEAL Team 6. Oh, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know that one. That's something I need to look up. Go ahead. Yeah.
That's the reason why a lot of people in the military were not supporting, what's her name? The Clinton. The
Hillary?
Female Clinton. Yeah, Hillary, because she was corrupt as you can get. And everybody in the military knew it. Everybody in the military knew that she allowed the embassies in Africa to get raided. She allowed a lot of ambassadors to get murdered and killed. They failed to protect the members of SEAL Team 6. They lied about a lot of stuff.
SEAL Team 6. Oh, Joe, send money into Joe Collins. There's my music, Joe. I appreciate you being on the Naked Truth Report. I hope you win. Send money into his campaign. You want to give out your website?
My website is joecollinsforcongress.com.
joecollinsforcongress.com. We'll be back next week, and then the week after that, we'll know who's our new president. How exciting. Join me next week on the Naked Truth Report. Thank you, Joe.